Alright, lie number one. It's not a sin, it's no big deal. There are two sides to this coin. There's a spiritual side and a psychological side. Spiritually, it's pretty easy to see how pornography and masturbation are sinful. In Matthew 5:28, Jesus states that anyone who does so much as look at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If simply checking out a woman is the equivalent of committing adultery with her, how much worse is watching that woman in a pornographic setting, all the while pleasuring yourself to those images? Now, Psalm 119:37 tells us to turn our eyes away from looking at worthless things, but rather to desire life in God's ways. Pornography is certainly a worthless thing to look at, doesn't do much to construct you for the future. Paul himself also tells us to flee from sexual immorality in 1 Corinthians 6:18 and throughout his various letters. Next to the psychological effect, addiction to masturbation and pornography can be detrimental to a person's mentality and emotional stability. This addiction is a vicious cycle beginning with a preoccupation with sexual thoughts, followed by a feeling of entitlement, which is essentially feeling that you deserve it, feeling that you should do it, feeling that you're doing it because of stress or because of anger at someone else or something else, followed by the act of actually engaging in pornography and or masturbation. Now after this is an overwhelming sense of shame and guilt and despair. Then the cycle repeats. Allowing the cycle to repeat only ends up in frustration, anger, and a lack of a coherent sense of self. This addiction can easily lead to depression, making the cycle even harder to break. So obviously, they are a big deal. Alright, lie number two. Next time will be different. I won't give in. If all you're relying on is your own willpower, if all you're worrying about is the stopping behavior itself, then you're missing the real root of the problem. John Piper states that, "I don't have any problem with us doing all kinds of things to surround men and women with all kinds of protections from sexual sin. I think that's a very good idea. It's just not the main point." If that's where you fight the battle continually, you will never get to the root of the issue. The root of the issue here is this renewed heart, this joy and gladness that the bones that God has broken healed with the joy of our salvation. The misuse of the beautiful gift of sex is a symptom of a disease, not the disease itself. Alright, lie number three. There's no hope for me. There's no way out. I'll be stuck like this forever. Let me just say, you will find a way out. You may be beat down, you may be broken, your relationships may be suffering, your heart may be in pain, you may feel depressed, helpless, and alone, but I can tell you that you will find a way out. You need to find strength and courage in God, and strength and courage in your own salvation. Accept God's grace. Don't wallow in self-pity and shame. It gets you nowhere. But allow yourself to be renewed. Allow God to change your mind and the way you think. The world will be open to you. Everything will be beautiful. You'll be able to live without fear. You just have to get there. Alright, lie number four. I'm alone in this. No one is as messed up as I am because of this. Now this is simply false. Pornography is a huge issue, a multi-billion-dollar industry feeding off of people's addictions. You are definitely not alone. I found several statistics online about this. These are mostly from 2003 and 2006, and you better believe things have gotten worse since then. More than 70% of men between the ages of 18 and 34 visit a pornographic site in a typical month. 51% of pastors say that cyberpornography is a possible temptation for them, and 37% of pastors say that it is a current struggle in their lives. Am I giving these statistics to call them hypocrites? No. Simply trying to illustrate how difficult of an issue this can be, how hard it is to overcome. 47% of families said pornography is a constant problem in their home. You are not alone. Alright, lie number five. This addiction will disappear once I get married. This is a tricky one, and it is just plain false. No matter how logical it seems, many people believe that once they get married, they will have sex, quote-unquote, whenever they want, which isn't true, and this addiction will then go away. The root of the issue of pornography and masturbation is not, I repeat, not simply lust. It goes much deeper than that. And even in marriage, sex is nothing like what you see in pornographic films. Pornographic films depict sex that is fake and inaccurate. Countless marriages have been destroyed because of this issue. Men feeling guilty, depressed, ashamed, and angry, and women feeling helpless, insufficient, and unloved. or vice versa. Women struggle with this as well. Pornography has commonly been termed the #1 marriage killer. Alright, well, I'm off. If you guys need prayer, please post a comment in the comments asking for prayer, and I will definitely include you in my prayer. God bless, guys, and good luck.